in this video, we're going to be reacting to different types of Amtrak trains. For us, it's how it looks. Not how fast it goes, none of that. He might be doing something different. We haven't watched it yet, but let's just get straight into the video. And let's see if we agree with it.
Hey everyone, today I'm making a different sort of video. I'm making an Amtrak locomotive tier list. Now this isn't really going to be based on anything, like technical specifications or, how fast did it go, how successful was it. No, this is just my personal opinions on a variety of things about these locomotives. So these are my opinions and my opinions only. And if you're going to get genuinely offended at a train tier list, then you should probably leave now.
I'm opening the door. Out you go, stupid.
But anyway, we're going to get started with the SDP 40F. I'm
C-tier.
basically a sucker for anything that looks like, an F45 or
C-tier.
an F40. And, I like most
It's
car body
actually an S
locomotive
tier.
design.
It's a classic
The
logo.
No,
paint
C
scheme
tier
looks
for me,
really
it does
good
not
on
look
I
cool.
really like the
A-
SL4
A
two
tier.
horns they used on.
A tier for me.
And if you
classic
look at the
paint
front end
scheme.
of these things, it looks like they have a
C-tier.
nice little smile on them. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much they derailed or, how, heavy they were, how much they swayed around on
I
the
could
railroad
go in.
tracks,
Fine,
they still
I'm
had a
going to
nice
B.
smile on their face. They
Let's
were
be
going to stay
together.
positive, and
B.
because of that optimism, they're going in A tier.
Okay, we're close.
Honestly, pretty good locomotive. I like them. Alright, the RTG and RTL turboliners are next.
It kind
I
of
personally
looks
prefer
good,
the
but B
RTL.
again.
I think it looks a
Yeah.
lot cleaner because to me, the front of the
Maybe
RTG
even
looks like a weird deformed
Yeah.
box.
That's what I was gonna
So
say.
work
C-tier.
everything out there.
Let's get
B-
it.
But
C.
I definitely prefer the
C,
more
how about
sleek
that,
and
C?
modern look of the RTL.
C
It's just a
tier.
lot cleaner, and I think Phase 3 looks really nice on it too.
That one.
Plus, the
C
cab
tier.
design looks a bit more streamlined too and modern. So RTG, C.
Okay, we agreed
The
with it.
RTL, pretty good. I really would have liked to see this thing be more successful, on state-supported routes or, just higher speed intercity routes, things like that. I think they could have excelled there.
I see a
So
couple S
honestly,
tiers on here.
A tier. Next up, Bud Metro Line.
Ooh.
It's basically a big
A.
rolling
That's A.
cinder block on
That
wheels with a
deserves
slab
an
for a
A.
face.
Hey,
But it's not the ugliest thing in the world. I think it's got a very, 70s look, especially with the Amtrak paint on it. The Amfleet coach design, I like it. The corrugated
It
metal
looks pretty
design, whatever sheet metal, whatever you want to call it, design is pretty neat. They had a pretty decent service life. Nothing too spectacular, nothing too offending though. So about middle of the road, B tier.
we said A.
The E60s. I feel pretty much the same about both variants.
I think C.
I mean,
or
I
B.
do prefer the
Yeah,
I could
version,
swing
later
a B.
version with
B.
Phase 3
Because
and
B
tier.
out.
Both on B
Nose
tiers.
light. I
B
prefer it being
Both
up top.
B's.
Yeah.
Nothing much else to say
Their
about the
Phase
design.
2
I mean,
or
it's kind of
3
just another one
Kind
of
of
those
looks good.
big
I think
blocky engines Amtrak had
Look.
early on. About another
I think that one could be. I think that's a B. That one's a C.
What? Why? Look. What are you gonna give that? That
Fine, we'll both go B. Both B's.
I'm going to move it behind the Metroliner because I like it a bit more than that. Alright, the P30CH. It's
Phase
got the
3,
nickname Pooch
decent.
for a reason because the nose looks like
I'll
a
swing a C.
It's a very just
D.
French-shaped diesel. Like you just kind of want to
I
give it a
can't
nice
go
shaped
above
touch,
C.
don't you?
Phase
I think
3
it's a
just
very,
looks
basic
generally good
design.
on any.
I like
Fine,
both
we'll
Phase
go
2 and
B.
Phase
We'll
3
go
on it.
B.
And overall, it's just a nice
It looks
locomotive
good
to
on
look at to
any
me.
locomotive.
So, hey, F40PH is up next.
S tier.
This one's
Easy
one of
S tier.
okay,
The thing that inspired the Amtrak, the first ever successful
Okay.
unit made on the Amtrak.
S tier. S tier.
It's on every single. It's on almost on every single paint scheme. It's been on Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4, Phase
S
5. They found Phase 5 once. Cascades. And guess what? They even used to be on the Pacific Surfliner paint scheme.
The reason
Easy
I
S tier right here. Don't need to even need to
I don't
explain.
know.
Yeah.
It's probably because it was one of the first locomotives I had ever seen, like, on There Goes a Train. And that was like, the F40 was the first locomotive designation I learned. So I guess maybe it's just like childhood nostalgia or bias. I didn't grow up seeing these. I was too young for that. I'm 21. These had basically just been retired by the time I was born. I like
I
their
wasn't even
boxy
born
design.
before they
All
were
the paint
retired.
schemes Amtrak's had
They still
works very
serve,
well
but
on
then-
them. I like the
Never
P5s, the K5LAs they use. They just have a very distinct look and just the sound of them with the HEP always running just, screaming in agony all the time, running at maximum RPM. They just have a lot of character to them, and I gotta give them S tier for that. Definitely my favorite Amtrak locomotive and favorite locomotive of all time.
It's not my
All right,
favorite.
the AEM7 is up next.
The
This is
toaster!
my favorite electric locomotive of all time. I really like the boxy design here. I mean, there's a
Doesn't
reason
really
it's
look
nicknamed
cool to
toaster.
me.
But this is just
C,
another
let's meet at
French-shaped
C.
locomotive.
Yeah.
It's just
I
very
think I see
aesthetically
one that's
pleasing.
gonna be a
And honestly, I don't know if I could say the same
Don't
as it
say
was
it
with
if
the
you
dual
see
cab
it, but-
locomotive. I think it just kind of adds that one little point of character to it that makes it unique. I think all the paint schemes work well on it. Phase 4, maybe not so much, but Phase 3 and Phase 5 work really nice on it, especially Phase 5. I think it's just a perfect match for it, in my opinion. It's like it was built for that paint. And the corrugated metal on the sides looks really cool too. Definitely S tier locomotive.
No, that's
Okay,
a C.
GP40TC is next. Now, normally I would say
GP40TC,
freight locomotive design
and a locomotive
Amtrak
A.
train,
A.
but
Both of them
when
A's.
it's painted in
Wait,
Amtrak colors, I
or
think
just
it
one?
actually works pretty well. Something I always found kind of weird.
I'm gonna change that because all of this paint scheme almost oddly fit. I'm gonna bump mine up to like a B tier.
B tier.
Yeah, B tier.
About these-
They fit.
Fine, we'll
Why
go
did
up
Amtrak
to
keep
B. That's the
signs from
highest
Go
I'm gonna
Transit?
go.
Because,
Okay.
they inherited them from Go Transit, and Go, they had this little
That
steel plate
looks
on the
very
logo.
cool.
That's on go.
So-
That's not.
That's an
Amtrak
S tier
feel the
locomotive
need
for
to
me. It's not even in
keep it. They could have slapped the logo on the nose, but maybe it just wasn't going to be legible enough. I don't know. But to me, aesthetically, I think it looks nice pulling Amtrak
Yeah.
trains.
Yeah.
Plus, the later Phase 5 versions look pretty
That
nice
looks
too.
nice.
The paint scheme works really well on them.
A tier.
I would say A tier though.
Yes.
F69 PHAC is up next. Now, I
Doesn't look
really
that cool.
wish Amtrak used these.
C.
They're basically kind of just a more streamlined version.
You see that locomotive? That inspired the Metro's F40 PH that looks just like that.
Remember, it doesn't look that cool. It doesn't look that appealing. C. I'm not going higher than
From
C.
an aesthetic standpoint.
like-
This
I
cat
kind of
design
like
went
it,
on
so
to be used on
C
Metro's
tier.
F40
C. Look.
PHM-2s, and those are my favorite Metro locomotives. So I'm sure you can see where this is going. And I think it would have
No,
been cool to
it's
see if maybe Amtrak rebuilt some of their F40s to have like a cab like this to be more streamlined. Now the only change I would make is to use like the F40s like vertical kind of.
Like, why do all
headlight setup on
Metros
the
look
nose.
so
The little
cool?
Mars light thing, whatever, backup light
It's fine,
on the
though.
nose of the F69 is cool, but I would just prefer, a standard vertical headlight setup like you see on Metro's units. But in the end, this is S tier.
Bro!
The Dash 8.
S,
A
S,
very utilitarian
S.
freight design,
That's
but I
S.
still think
S tier. Even though I missed out on days 1 and 2, it still fits on days 3, 4, 5. S tier.
And also, it does look like a generic diesel freight locomotive, but it's just so cool. That's all we need to
they
say.
look
The
good
top-
for
you know that
passenger
S one up
trains
there? I'm gonna
and
move it
just
down
as
to
good
B
doing
for me.
maintenance work.
It's
Having
too late.
that
We
GE
can't move
wide
it.
cab design,
I like
I
it
think
at
it looks a bit nicer. Plus, being a 4-axle and being a little bit shorter in length, I think lends it to looking just a smidge closer to like a
S
passenger
tier,
locomotive.
S tier.
Personally, I like Phase 4 the best on these. Plus, I like the sound of their horns. I would say B tier. Okay, the Genesis.
Hey, that's
No
A or
matter if
S.
you think it looks good or not, I don't
S.
really think
Okay,
it
we'll go with
is
S.
how
We'll go
I
with
think
S.
it is to
Every
Amtrak.
single
At least in
paint
the
scheme
modern day,
fits on
if
that.
someone says
Days 1,
Amtrak,
days 2, days 3,
chances
days
are
4,
Hey,
they're
let him
probably
talk.
days
Let him
5,
talk.
locomotive.
phase,
It's
and
still
even
being
phase
used as the
7,
poster
even
for
phase
railroad,
7
with
fits
the
on.
Chargers, showing up. I mean, I don't know how much longer until the Chargers
That's
take over
that's
that
the
role,
most classic
but
one right
still,
there.
point is, they're just
F40
it's just an
PH is kind of more
iconic
classic.
design.
The first
As a
ever
kid,
60
like
that's
many
it's
of
fine.
you,
It's
I grew
fine.
up
That
with
one's
these
more
locomotives
classic
and
to
have
me,
ridden
but it's
behind them
fine.
several times on the Blue Water train. They have that distinct GE chugging sound when they're accelerating. I think they have a really nicely tuned K5LA, and all of Amtrak's paint schemes work really well on it. And personally, my favorite is Phase 5 on these. It's a decently sleek and very clean design. Like, I could only ever see this engine being used in passenger service. Like, if it was being used as like a freight engine, it would just look really off. Like, this is like the quintessential, this is a passenger design. Overall, the Genesis is just really iconic for the reasons I mentioned earlier, and I'm definitely going to be sad to see them go in favor of the Chargers. There's definitely some
it's
childhood
not gonna
bias
exist
going on,
anymore?
but even today,
Well-
I still think there's.
Well, in the near future, the Chargers will keep replacing that, which in the near future, like maybe like in like 5 years, will replace the F40PHs, and it turns out F40PHs will go to the Genesises.
So you're telling
and
me this won't exist in a couple years?
might be like 20 years.
Okay, I can work with that.
It's getting overthrown by the Chargers, the Cellis, and even the electric locomotives.
It's
This
a really nice looking locomotive. S tier.
Yes.
Okay, the F59PHI and the F59PH. I included the PH because, yeah, even though they are owned by the North Carolina Department of Transportation, they
B tier.
Both of them are B tier?
Yeah. But these ones are unique. These ones will only ever see
That one might be C for me, but
B if it's on both the
C.
Surfliner.
We're going C.
B. If
C
it's,
and B.
guess what?
C and B.
This
Sit back
it's
down.
soft. It also fits perfectly
Sit back
on
down.
the Pacific
are still used on
Surfliner.
Amtrak trains, so I figured I should probably just include it. Might
Fine,
as well.
we'll go.
Comparing
both
the
go
two,
B's,
though,
but
I definitely prefer the PHI. I'm not really a huge fan of Triclops locomotives, but I think on the PHI it's handled a lot better with it being more streamlined. I really like the Cascades and Surfliner paint schemes on them, but I would still say they don't necessarily stack up to something like the Genesis. So for me, B tier for the PHI, C tier for the PH. The HHP8, basically just kind of a beta version of the Acela. I guess I don't really feel strongly one way or another about it. It just kind of exists.
So
I mean,
B,
it looks
because they're
fine,
very
but
iconic.
No, we're
pretty
doing
average
C.
to me, I
They're
guess,
back
so.
in surface, Griffin.
B.
we're
The
going
dual
C.
cap design is pretty neat though. The Acela. Even though these things
S
are only 20 years old,
tier,
I still think they hold up
2006.
pretty
I think it's-
well in the year 2023.
I think it's A.
I like the color
Yes.
job on
It
it.
is the first
Orange
ever
sounds pretty
express
cool.
passenger service on Amtrak. This deserves an S tier. It's only in phase 5, but they rock. They're custom coaches. And in the near future, they're also going to get replaced by these.
I think it was just a
Okay.
pretty good stepping stone into proper high-speed rail for America. I can't really attest to how these things
We'll
ride
go
or how
S,
it
but in
feels to
my
ride 'em
opinion,
because I've
it's
never been out
an
on
it's
the
a
East
high
Coast.
A, very.
But I'm hoping one day I can get out there
Yeah.
and see them before the Avalia Liberties take over. This is going in A tier. Alright, so now we're getting into more modern recent stuff with the ACS 64. When these
Do you
things
think it
first
looks
were
that
revealed,
cool?
I didn't really
A
like them all.
B. We're going. I
A
think.
tier. Look how
That much.
clean that
But over
goes
time,
around
I've
it.
grown a fondness for them.
A
Now,
tier,
I don't
phase
really
5
like
is
them as
just
much as the
in-
AEM7 or whatever, but I still like them more than the HHB8.
Fine, we'll go A.
I like how modern they look. While it does look European, I still don't think
See,
it's super
it's my
off-putting
problem.
when
It
people
looks
see a
too
train.
European.
But guess
It
what?
looks like a European train.
Well, guess what? They mixed Europe. Usually they would have 2. They would have 4 electric colliders, but they only have 2. They took some American stuff
tier.
from it.
Alright, Siemens Chargers,
S
you're up to bat. I've
and,
been saving
A. S and A.
tier for you guys.
Perfect.
The Charger tier.
What?
I'm just not really a huge fan of the way these things look.
Bro, that is
The
an
paint
S,
cool, yeah.
and that's an A.
But the cap
S and
design-
A.
Do you know what I
It's really
hate?
cool.
No, we need to get that a B, Griffin. Because you know,
Which one? The
look
first
at the dashboard. It cuts
Oh.
the curve off.
Oh my!
I hate it.
I never know.
It's just these things that.
S and B. We're going S and B.
Yeah.
If they looked more like Via Rail Chargers, I would have a big
Cinema!
problem with them because I actually think those look pretty cool. Maybe if they got rid of the nose lights, I would feel a little bit differently.
The nose
On the
lights.
Chargers, it looks a little off compared to something like the P42.
Mm.
Now, I do like the ALC42 cab more than I do the SC44. Because the ALC42, it's got more of a curve, while the SC44, it kind of has like a notch right here where the LED display is at. And another thing about the Chargers is they're just so unreliable. I've heard so many stories of both variants breaking down in the cold weather or just at the
I don't care.
slightest
That one's
sight
S.
of a
That the
snowflake.
other one's B.
I've heard the problem with them is like there's like an air intake on the bottom of the locomotive and it like sucks in all the snow, leaves, and dirt and rain, and it gets inside of the engine compartment and starts short-circuiting everything until the whole thing breaks down. And people have been stranded for hours.
They do
because
need
of
to
it.
fix
You
that,
can like
but we're
these
going on
locomotives.
how
I'm
it
not gonna hate you for that. And I'm not gonna be so petty either, where it's gonna be like, if I see one of these, like, I'm not gonna photograph them, or I'm not gonna take a video of them because it's a charger. No, at the end of the day, it's just a train. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of the way these look.
That's fair.
So, they're going in charger tier. Okay, so the Avalia Liberty sets. I'm still not
That at least deserves an A. Let's look at that fade transition.
That looks like a Japanese train, which I love the look of Japanese trains. That could even be an S for me.
This is like that is like an that is an express train, but this is almost like one of those fast.
This is an S.
It took inspiration from a Japanese fast train. Except,
Yes, I love Japanese high-speed
except
trains.
one thing about it, instead of having a smooth look,
That's true.
it's kind of that. But still, it looks pretty cool.
It's an S tier. S tier looks
S
so cool,
tier,
and
S
the coaches look cool.
They're definitely very European. First thing is, I think I would have preferred the blue to be a bit darker. Something more in line with the Acela. Another thing I don't really like is how the power cars don't really match up with the coaches, because the coaches are kind of like slanted inward.
So
I definitely
don't
like
matter.
the way
The
the
paint
Acelas look more, but
looks so
I
nice.
do like the interiors of these things,
Like, look at
and
that
they definitely,
interior, it looks so
objectively look more modern. But at the same time, I still prefer the look of the Acela, but it's not the ugliest thing ever.
Bro, that's an S
I
tier,
don't
bro.
really feel
Yeah.
too positively about it, I guess, either. So
5
it's
more
only-
trains left.
It's cool, but it's just, I prefer other things to it. Okay, so now we're on to some oddballs. First up is the turbo train.
That's a D.
This reminds me of the
Did you
Union
know
Pacific.
I'm
That's a
not
D,
really
I
a
hate
huge fan.
D,
The
it's
paint's
kind of
cool,
more like a
but I just don't
European.
really like the really tall.
Bro,
It's very. It took inspiration from that Japanese bullet train.
D tier.
Ready? Next.
Okay, the LRC.
Yes!
was on Amtrak
This is
for like a year and a half or 2 years, I think. I still prefer the way
A
that.
tier to A tier.
That inspired the Acela Express. You see that? Look, see? It's also an express. And that phase 3 it's just magnificent.
So we'll put it in A tier. We'll put it in A tier.
Top A
Mhm,
tier.
But the
Top.
Amtrak one isn't too bad either. Do I like it more compared to something like
And
the
there's also
RTL? No.
Via Rail also
So,
had those.
Honestly, it's gonna go in C tier.
We had it in A.
All right, next up is the genset. I don't even remember which one
It's
this
like a
is.
shunter,
I'm just
what
gonna
the
lump the gensets into one
Yeah.
because I pretty much feel the same
They-
way about
They D or C.
I know they're meant to be utilitarian, and I know they're meant to be a switcher, but that still doesn't mean I really like them all that much.
Let's put
I
it
don't
in
really
D.
like the shape of them, so I don't really like them. D tier. The
D.
Talgo series.
I hate the
8
colors.
car, and I included this
Griffin,
one because
pause.
it's an ugly piece
Why?
of shit.
That's the Cascade scheme.
Okay.
It's the Cascades. You see that? That is the exact same paint scheme as that.
Oh, then it's an easy S tier.
But guess what? This kind of looks like a really European, but still.
It looks like the Italy flag.
Look on the side. Tilt your head, and now I see the Italy flag.
Anyway, let's put it in
This
an
is
A
the
tier. How about
worst
that?
Yeah,
looking
A
thing
tier.
Amtrak has ever operated.
Pizza.
It's like it's like Talgo was like designing the front end of a car, and then they gave it a semi-truck cab, and then like, oh shit, we're making a train, and then they had to slope it back down to match up with the coaches. There's nothing appealing about this to me. It doesn't look aerodynamic in the slightest. I don't even know what they were really trying to go for with it. The colors are kind of cool, but that's about the only thing I really like about it. Everything else, ugly piece of shit. As a matter of fact, here, let me do something real quick. There. It gets its own
The
shitty
last
tier,
train.
Talgo tier. It's even worse than the chargers to me, and that's saying something. Last but not least,
S,
the
that's
Amtrak
S!
Aero.
S! Give it an S! Look at that clean curve!
But I
That
don't really
is a
anticipate them
clean
changing their look
curve!
much. Now, I know I just lambasted the Chargers for the way their cab design looks, but here being used as a power car or cab car on a train set, I think this is where the cab design works. I think it would have been cool if they used the Via Rail Charger cab design, but then put the Amtrak paint on that. That would look cool. But I know it sounds pretty contradictory, but I don't really have too much of a problem with this.
So cool.
But I still have a problem with
That
this.
sucks. That's
The
I think it's
coaches.
maybe just because the ALCs and SC44s are being used
S
as
tier.
individual locomotives, or maybe it's just because they haven't been paired up with a matching set of coaches. You know, over time I might feel differently. I mean, it happened with the ACS 64, could happen with the Chargers, I don't know. But as a whole, going inside.
Bro! That's S tier.
Alright, so I've rearranged a couple of things on.
Anyway, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video.
One more thing, I hate the Midwestern paint scheme because the coaches, they're originally made for bi-level custom cars, but it's still there even though there's small cars. It just aggravates me that they
Thanks
don't
for
connect.
watching.